Look right now of what it's like behind the scenes of The Price is Right. Now, this is the CBS television studios in Los Angeles, and they tape a lot of shows here like Capital and Young and Restless, and a number of game shows, including the popular Price is Right. We're backstage at The Price is Right at Studio 33. They've been taping here for the past 13 years. And this is the area where they keep all the props and games like, that's Plinko. You'll also find a lot of backdrops, which is what they use on the set. Like this one, it sort of looks like your living room, doesn't it? Also, when you're back here, you'll find a lot of people. There's always movement here. They're taking, the games are back here, even the prizes. Oh, if you're a big fan of The Price is Right, you'll recognize this. This is the wheel. Now, to get your chance to spin the wheel, first you have to get a ticket to be in the show's audience. These 300 people have been here since 7 this morning waiting for today's noon taping. Now, what makes this show so popular? I asked executive producer Frank Wayne.
Well, Price is Right has a combination of things going for it. If you take the fact that it's a surprise party for the 9 people who are selected from the audience without their knowledge of having been previously selected, so you've got 9 surprise parties going for you to begin with. It is popular because among the things which everybody in the world has an opinion are the prices of things.
Well, price is a language we all know, but before you get a chance to chat with Bob Barker about it, you have to get past this man, Phil Wayne. His job is to choose today's contestants from all these people. Now, just what does it take for you to be a Dynamite contestant?
It takes a sense of courage and satisfaction with being who you are and where you are. We run into a lot of folks that are too nervous really to be on stage. They just want to see the show, and they're embarrassed at the idea of standing on stage, and I have to sense that rather than forcing them into a position where they don't want to be. We're looking for folks ready to party.
You've only got a few minutes with Phil, so you'd better make a good impression fast. Now, during this brief conversation, Phil will decide if you have the potential to become one of the lucky few.
Who's that lady next to you?
That's my wife, 43 years.
Is this true? 43
Yes,
years?
it's true.
You get time off for good behavior?
I do.
Oh.
While Phil interviews the audience members, this person, Phil's assistant, watches for a secret clue from Phil. Then she quickly takes notes on whether or not your name will be called to come on down.
I'd only have a short time to decide whether or not I could use you, because the longer we talk, the more comfortable you become in dealing with me as an individual, as a producer who is looking for a contestant. So I'm looking for that initial reaction and how you speak well of yourself. If you say things like, I'm just a housewife, you give me an image that you're not terribly happy with what you're doing, and I want you to be happy to begin with.
Over 300 contestants have been screened. They come in here, thank you, to the audience area where they're seated to get ready for the show to start and to wait for everyone's favorite announcer, Johnny Olson. As you can see, Johnny's warm-up is quite an energetic show. Of course, he's had a lot of practice with over 20 years of announcing experience. But Johnny's most famous line comes right at the start of every Price is Right show.
Come on now! Ready! Hey! Come on now! Lisa Gandera! Come on down!
As Johnny picks the last 2 contestants, the excitement really builds as everyone gets ready for Bob Barker to come out from behind the doors to start the show. This is door 2, and now this might not look like a very special area, but this spot right here, this very spot, is where Bob Barker stands while he waits for Johnny Olson to announce him, and these doors come open, and out he comes, right through here. While Bob Barker was starting the first show, I met up with Johnny Olson backstage and asked him if he'd ever made any visits to South Florida. Now, I knew he had visited here before, but I didn't realize how often.
Penny and I made 379 trips to Miami and back.
We want you to come back again.
I'm gonna. 'Cause I
Okay.
love Miami. I love WTVJ, too.
Well, as Johnny scurried on back to call out 4 more names, Bob was already playing the Plinko game with one of the contestants. The show's going on right now, but meanwhile, there's a lot going on backstage. Price is Right is taped without any stopping, so everyone and everything is constantly on the move. There's a whole host of stagehands who will prizes and props for over 50 games on and off the stage. Now look at this. Do you ever wonder what happens to the props once they've made their Price is Right debut? Well, in this case, the train rolls just out of camera range and the models jump out and onto the next platform, hopefully without spilling their coffee. Meanwhile, in a dark little control room high above the audience, director Mark Breslow calls the shots that keep the cameras constantly wheeling. But to me, the real core of any game show is this sound. That's the You've Just Won bell, and this is where all those sounds come from. Just off stage, 36-year veteran Victor Livett controls all those whistles and bells.
If somebody wins, we hear this. If somebody loses, we hear either a horn or a buzz. Or if they're overbid, it's 4 buzzes.
In between shows, I had a chance to talk with Bob Barker about his role on The Price is Right. What do you enjoy most about your job?
Payday and the kisses. No, I enjoy it. All my life, I've done people-oriented shows, and it's what I really enjoy about the job. If I were doing a show where all I did was say, who are you, where are you from, what number do you want, I would be off my gourd by now. But I've been blessed with Truth or Consequences and The Price is Right. I really think that they are a perfect framework for me to have fun in.
You have won a scad of prizes, and I want to take you over and show you the prizes that you've won in the showcase. May I do that? Okay. Bob Barker, say goodbye, everybody.
Can Johnny Olson dance or what?
He gives lessons. No, but I said we could take some from him. He's fun. That whole show is fun. And Bob Barker is a very private man. You know, he was very nice, but very private. Also, if you would like tickets for The Price is Right, here's the address. You write to CBS. It's 7800 Beverly Boulevard. There it is, 7800 Beverly Boulevard, Los Angeles, California, 90036. That's tickets for The Price is Right, and you too can maybe become a contestant.